Namaste, Sakshi, Telugu Prajala Mana Sakshi, special immigration showki, Swagatam, Suswagatam. So today we are back with our expert attorney, Bhanu Illindra garu, BBA Law Group PC, 17 years of experience in law offices. And if you have any questions, please feel free to call to us and Bhanu garu will be glad to answer your questions. Before you begin the show, please note that the information provided on the show not a legal advice, it's just for information purpose only. So Sakshi TV or its agents will not be responsible for this. If you need any specific legal advice, please contact the attorney directly. And so today we are going to talk about impact of executive orders pertaining to immigration policies issued by President Biden. So manam topic loki velle mundu Bhanu garto maatladidama. Yes, begin the show. Hello Bhanu garu, namaste andi.
Hello Prasanna garu, how are you?
Welcome to the show andi.
Thank you, Andy.
Yes.
Thank you for inviting me.
Before we get into the topic, and can you please provide your law office's information, personal address? Please go on.
Sure, Andy. Thank you very much for asking me that. My firm name is BBA Law Group PC, Andy. I founded this firm in 2008. I've been practicing immigration law for more than 17 years now, almost 17 years now. And I exclusively practice in immigration law, Andy. I don't do anything else. I basically do all the US immigration laws, and now we started doing inbound and outbound cases also. That means we do the we started operations in the various consular services in various consulates also, like in India, in UK, in Canada, in Mexico, in other places also. That's what we are trying to do. Basically, we do the consular services. If anybody needs help with the consulates and everything also, we should be able to help them out with those paperwork and everything, Andy. We represent in all types of immigration matters. We do employment-based immigration. We do family-based immigrations, green cards, EB1, EB2, EB3, EB5, investor visas also. And also I do few remote proceeding cases, not many, but few cases which I've taken. I take very, very few cases, those where I see that there's a possibility that we can make sure that individuals get the benefits and everything. That's why we take those cases. But majorly, all types of immigration matters we represent in our firm, Andy. Our firm name is BBA Law Group PC. We are located in Herndon, Virginia, which is a Washington, D.C. suburbs. Our firm website is www.bbalawgroup.com. Our office number is 703-496-7722. And my email ID is bhanu@bbalawgroup.com. And or you can also send an email to contact@bbalawgroup.com or crm@bbalawgroup.com. Or if you have any questions, do you want to take an appointment to speak with me or anything like that, you can also do by visiting our firm website also. In the website, there's a contact page where you can actually register yourself for the time and the schedule and everything. We'll be very happy to assist you in talking and providing any information you need pertaining to US immigration laws, Andy.
Right, Bhanugar, thanks for the info, Andy. So can you please help us with the latest updates on immigration 2021? We have so many updates in this week, right? So yes, please.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Basically, we have to understand this. President Biden, when he basically took over the power, came into the power on January 20, 2021 afternoon, basically he signed 17 executive orders, basically. In them, 9 of them are to set aside Trump policies and agendas, basically. And also, there are quite a few important immigration policy executives or orders also have been established, have been released by Biden at the time. And first thing in that executive order is basically sending a Biden's Immigration Comprehensive Reform Act, which is basically called a Citizenship Act 2021. They basically sent a proposal, a bill to the Congress to ensure that that bill will become a law. Basically, they want Congress to work on that and pass on that legislation and everything. In that bill, basically, they have several things which are really bothering the people who want to migrate legally into this country. What are the hindrances basically is causing by the US immigration laws for them to migrate into this country? Those issues have been addressed in that bill, basically. Basically, main in that bill, they basically want to give a path to citizenship for all legal or illegal immigrants in this country who are abide by law, who are willing to take steps, whatever steps to take to get in compliance with immigration laws for those people, basically, and also ensuring that DACA is secured so that people who are eligible for DACA, they should be able to stay in this country, able to obtain employment authorization pursuant to DACA, and also able to apply for DACA continuously. And that's one thing which they have done. Third thing is that they basically said that there's a very good news for H4 visa holders in this. Basically, they said that if somebody is on H4s in this country, basically, they should be able to get employment authorization document irrespective whether the spouses have either got approval or not. That is a very good one proposal in that. And also other proposal in that is basically is that about the visa dates backlogs, basically, right? Immigrant visa backlogs. They said the per country limitation for each country will be removed. And also what they said is basically is that in the bill is proposal is that that not only removing the per country limitation, but also not counting the spouses and the dependents, children and everybody towards those visa numbers in the employment-based category. And and that's a very good thing, because if that happens, then basically you're getting 140,000 visas immediately only for the principal applicant. That's a huge difference. Basically, that can reduce tremendously the backlog. People are waiting for tens of years now several years now. But of course, some people were able to file adjustment of status applications in October, November, December, but they're not going to get the green card. Although they file for adjustment of status, they're not going to get the green cards fast. Basically, they have to wait till the green cards are approved. So we don't know how many years it's going to take as per the current what we have, basically. So that is one thing which one good proposal with the Biden and besides all these things, basically one other thing with what Biden did is basically is that he actually postponed implementation of any overnight regulations that have been passed by the Trump administration pertaining to immigration laws, basically. That's a very good thing. And so there, for example, I'll talk to you about that, what has been impacted with that particular law and everything also. And also he basically said that any regulations that have been not reached the Federal Register for printing or published, basically, those regulations are basically set aside. They're not going to be implemented. And because of that reason, last week we basically discussed, right, the H-1B definition of employer-employee relationship basically will not be implemented because it failed to go to the public. It failed to publish in the Federal Register prior to the administration takeover. Therefore, those regulations have been set aside. Same thing with the wage increase by the Department of Labor also, right? Basically, the Department of Labor increased the wage levels for the H-1B workers, basically, and H-2B workers also, basically, who requires an LCA, and especially for H-1B workers, basically, right? And when they have done that, basically, that regulation also has been set aside, basically, because it was not being published, basically, by the Department of Labor. I'm sorry. It has been published. It is going to become effective from May 14, 2021. I said wrong. I cited wrong one here. What I was talking about is the Department of Labor actually issued a memorandum pertaining to the employer-employee relationship definition change regulation by the USCIS that has been set aside by the Department of Labor. The Department of Labor said that they're not going to act on that, basically, right? So these are the things which have been huge impact things, which are very, very good things. Second thing is when we said the 60-day postponement of the existing regulations that have been passed, that is actually will help employers who are planning to hire new H-1B people, pertaining to new H-1B cap in coming fiscal 2021-22 year, basically, that is, which is going to start from October 2021 ending. Yeah, you're saying something.
So we discuss further details and let's take one caller. Madesh from California. Madesh, please go on.
Hello. Hi, Bhanu.
Hello, Madesh. How are you?
Oh, yeah, fine, sir. How are you?
Fine, thank you, Madesh.
Sir, actually, so my H-1B got approved through consular process with the company A, and my project got ended in on May 2019.
Sorry, what got ended, sir? Your voice is not clear.
My project got ended in May 2019. In 2020.
Okay.
The consulate has been closed, right? So I couldn't go for stamping, and so I'm still in the US. So my H-1B got approved in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
So no.
What status were you? H-1B has been approved in 2018 for consular processing, right? And
yeah, in 2019, my H-1B got approved in consular process, and I didn't have a job at that time. So I got the job in 2020 February. After that, I lost my job in May 2020. So I couldn't go for stamping at that time. So right now I don't have a job, and I couldn't go for stamping. So it's a consular process. If I go for stamping, so is there anything like, is there option that I can go for stamping and get it stamped?
So what status are you currently present in the US, sir?
I'm in CPT.
Do you maintain valid CPT all the time, basically? Are you maintaining
Yes.
valid CPT?
Yes.
Valid
Yes.
F1 OPT, F1 status in CPT, basically. That's what you're doing, basically, right? And,
Yes, correct. Yes, correct.
sir, if you do not have a project for which your H1B petition has been filed, then it's not a good idea for you to go for a stamping on that particular H1B petition, because that H1B petition is no longer valid because you do not have a project for that. Your employer cannot allow you to go and apply for H1B visa stamping based upon that H1B petition. You have to file an amendment. You have to find you need to find an employment, and your employer, whoever you find an employment, that employer must be able to file an H1B petition for you, and based upon that H1B petition, you should be able to go for stamping and then come back. With existing H1B, you can't go for stamping.
So my H1B got approved, right? So, and it's a consular process, and I don't have a job, and
That is why I'm saying, sir.
so
Mahesh Garu, that is what I'm trying to say. Because you don't have a job, you can't go for a stamping of that H1B.
okay. So, is there any option like you can transfer the H1 from company A to company B?
Yes, you can transfer H1B from company A to company B because you are not subject to the cap. But that H1B also will be approved for consular processing for you.
Oh, okay.
Bhanu, I have a question, and previously you told about pathways to citizenship for undocumented individuals. So exactly who will get benefit out of this?
The people who are legally present in this country. I think there will be a deadline, set a date till that date. Whoever have been physically present in this country who does not have any criminal history or a background, anything like that. And probably, I do not know exactly, I did not read through the complete proposal, but I'm assuming what was talked in the past is probably they might require them to pay some kind of a penalties or something like that. And basically, they'll be the persons who will be eligible to apply for the green card in this country and accordingly path to citizenship, basically, And mostly the people who will benefit with this is the people who have been enrolled in DACA program, basically, because they are the ones, identifiable people who have been present in this country unlawfully, but they have a DACA enrollment, and also people who are with the TPS status in this country, like temporary protector status, and all those people will be benefiting with this. And people who are legally migrated in this country, they're anyway able to adjust their status in this country, but they have to go through all this process, basically, right? So path to citizenship or path to legal citizenship, basically, I think that is what they're talking about. And also one more thing which they're basically talking about is that graduates from higher degrees, like for example, PhD and the master's degree, that is one proposal which I've seen, basically, whether I don't know whether it's there in this proposal or not, they may be able to apply for green card by themselves, basically. They do not have to wait that they have to get a job and everything, basically. So that could be the possibility also. We do not know how the Congress is going to structure this, basically, because what he sent, he did send a statute, Citizenship Act 2021 to Congress, but I did not go through completely, and that's why sometimes my information could be wrong in that. But I think these are the various things which they're going to look into it. They're going to propose to that and see basically how it's going to happen and everything. I think many aspects of S386 and HR 1044 also will be coming into this for if it comes to the per country limitation and everything into this,
Yes. And we can also see that Biden has begun dismantling Trump's immigration rules. So how long will H1B holders need to wait to see the results?
Very difficult to say that, Eddie, basically, but probably we already seen a couple of things, right? Basically, for example, they've given already a notification saying that if any regulations that have not been gone for the publication to the Federal Register, they are set aside. They're not going to be implemented. They're not going to be published anymore. See, that we have seen. That is one big impact we have seen on the H1B employer-employer relation definition change regulations, basically, right? They had to go back. So we do not now, because of that, the clients do not have to file an H1B and LCA for them, basically, along with the employer, especially in the third-party contracting situation, consulting situations, basically, right? So that's a huge impact already there. We are seeing right away over there. And probably we will see, probably in a few months, and it may take some time, like 2-3 months or maybe like that. I cannot give you exact timeline because these things are very difficult to predict or estimate, basically.
Okay, right. And one more thing, given the processing delays for I-485 filings, so is it possible for the Biden administration will eliminate the interview requirement for employment-based cases?
Right now, there's no such thing, Andy. I've not seen any such kind of a proposal requirement or anything like that. And I don't see anything wrong also having an interview, Andy, because that's basically better for you, because at least you know that your case has been adjudicated, your case has been processed, and if the visa numbers are available, you're going to get a green card. If you do not know, if there is no interview schedule or anything like that, you don't even know when you're going to get a green card. You don't even know what the status of your case, because USS never discloses what they're doing with your case, basically. So it's of course it may cause some inconveniences to certain times, but it's up to the USCIS, because even in the past also, when they did not make it mandatory also, during certain cases where they used to call for the interview under the discretionary basis, basically. So that they have that authority to do any time. But now they made it mandatory, basically after 2012, but that's what it is, basically. Yeah.
Yes, Bhanu, we have another caller from Virginia, Ramesh. Ramesh, please go on.
Hi, Bhanu.
Hi, Ramesh.
Hi. Actually, I have a question regarding a DACA program. Actually, my daughter came in United States legally on dependent visa in 2009. So, will she eligible for the DACA? Whatever you are there.
No, unfortunately,
right
no.
Now?
No, she won't.
Only illegally.
Yes, if she doesn't have any status from the date of the enactment or effective date of the DACA regulations, then only she'll be eligible for the DACA relief. But unfortunately, I think she is not physically present by 2007 in this country. And also, even if she's present, let's assume that she's present also, basically, she has a legal status as of June 15, 2012. If she doesn't have the legal status by the time, probably she'll be eligible for DACA. But I think, as per what you're telling me, I'm assuming that she has a valid legal status by June 15, 2012.
Yeah, she has an H4 visa. And another question: until which year? Which age she can eligible to stay in this country as a dependent? Until 18 years or 21 years?
21.
21.
She must remain unmarried. She must remain unmarried and 21.
21. If she get a EAD, can she continue after 21 also in this country, or she has to get a green card before 21 years?
So that depends upon whether she's protected under CSPA Act or not, whether she's protected under the Child Status Protection Act or not, basically, and that's entirely different area, and it's a very complex thing which I have to talk to you in private to see whether she'll be able to stay, whether she's eligible for any time, any CSPA age as per the processing times of your I-140 and final action dates and everything, basically.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks for calling, Andy. Yes, Bhanugar, in updating the family-based and humanitarian systems proposed bill, so will this reduce the time and increase the per-country visa cap?
It will reduce the time, and I don't think there's any proposal increase in the per-country visa cap in the regulation. My cursory review does not tell me that they're going to increase the number of the employment-based visas. They're going to be 140,000. But it's going to increase the time basically because there is no per country limitation. That means right now we have 7% limitation for each country in the as per the employment-based category and also in the family-based category. In the employment-based category, that 7% limitation is taken off basically now. That means if you subscribe as many as you want from any country, those people are able to get the visas. And the second thing also is in the proposal, what they have in the Citizenship Act 2021 is that the dependents, for example, you are the principal applicant, you are the employee who's getting a green card, but you have a wife and children, basically. Previously, they are also counted towards that visa number allocation, basically. Now, as per this proposal, they're no longer counted towards the visa number allocation. They're like immediate relatives. There is no limit on how many visas can be allocated to them, basically. So that actually makes a huge difference in the backlog processing of the green cards, basically, and that's a good proposal. I really like that proposal, basically. See, I mean, every country national should be treated equally, basically. That's my whole thing is, if one country is treated well, if other country is not treated well, that is not a good thing, basically. And unfortunately, that's what happened with the HR 1044 and S386 bill passed by the Senate, which went back to Congress, which went back to the House, and did not go through the House because the restrictions against Chinese nationals over there, and in this basically it's a comprehensive reform. So of course there's a lot to happen in this. Even House has to take up into the floor, and then House has to go through that. It has to go through judiciary committees. It has to go through everything. It has to go into the OMB office and all that stuff. And there's a lot of there are a lot of steps there till it can become a law. Tremendous time is there. We do not know the timeline. It could be months. It could be sometimes the entire term of Biden presidency. We do not know, but it all depends upon how much lobbying effort goes on, pro and anti-immigration. Basically, anti-immigration lobbying groups have too much money to lobby against immigration. Basically, we see their force all the time. And the data also sometimes incorrect in what they bring in and everything, but because the ability they have to lobby against the immigration laws, they have been successful in the past few years, especially with the Republican Party being in the helm at the time, basically, right? And now Democrats are coming in. Still, you will see those things are coming on, basically, right? And for example, Biden recently passed a memo, something similar to the Buy American and Buy American and Hire American point. Basically, he also mentioned basically something like that recently, right? He also issued ensuring the future is made in all America by all American workers, basically. The memorandum has been issued, the executive order has been issued by the Biden, and this was issued basically, and it's in effect right now, basically, this memorandum, right? And that is pertaining to the H-1B specialty occupation, basically, right? And so it's very difficult that memorandum actually revoked Hire American, Buy American, and it's replaced that memorandum, basically that executive order, but still it is in place because of that, and but that itself also shows that that even Democrats basically will be looking into more favorable, giving preference to the U.S. workers first, then to the foreign workers, basically. But it has to be reasonable. What they believe is that the future is made in all America by all America's workers, basically, rather than some other people, basically, right? Basically, other countries and other things. So it basically encourages sometimes to make sure that talent is being hired and recruited and stayed in the US rather than sending it to some other countries, basically. So that's basically very encouraging thing too. And at the same time, give a preference to the US workers also to be hired. So Biden also passed this executive order, which is basically removing the Hire American and Buy American executive order issued by the Trump. That is one important thing which we have to look into it. And also, we know that Biden actually suspended travel bans against the Muslim countries and everything, but at the same time, he also issued the memorandums basically restricting the travel to the US based upon the COVID-19 requirements, basically. So they're saying that if somebody wants to come to US, irrespective, previously it was only from all UK and everything. Now I think it's basically stretched to all the countries in the world. What they're saying that is basically, if you're coming to the US, basically make sure that you have a negative test at the time of flying to the US in the airport. And when you land, make sure that you provide the document showing that you have a negative COVID-19 test, basically. Same thing, many countries also have those rules, basically, right? And for example, if you're traveling to India from US or anywhere, you need to carry negative COVID-19 test. Otherwise, you'll be quarantined for 14 days in India. So it's the same thing even Biden actually implemented. I think that's a very good medical measure taken by the Biden because of the COVID-19 issue. So there are many things which have been happening recent times, and I'm a little bit upbeat and positive and optimistic about the immigration laws right now, immigration policies and everything. But we have to see how it will impact the future and basically.
Yes, Bhanu, we have another caller, Manoj. Manoj, please go on.
Hello, sir. My name is Manoj. So my H-1B got approved in 2019 in I-797C, the consular process.
That my voice in the getting a lot of distance.
So in 2020, I got job for short term, like 4 months. So after that, I lost my job.
Manoj, మీ వాయిస్ చాలా డిస్టర్బెన్స్ గా ఉంది. Can you please explain one more time?
Hello, can you hear me?
Too much disturbance, Andy. I mean, we can't hear you at all. Too much static is coming.
Yes, I think there may be technical issues some time to the Bhanu garu. Right.
Yeah.
And one more thing, the rule requiring selection of H1 works based upon higher salary, frozen for 60 days. So, what is the reason for the freeze?
Practicality, implementation issues. Basically, it's, when the administration changes, they need to have enough personnel, enough requirements. They should be able to implement those systems. For example, now they have to develop entirely new application online, basically, right? They have to change the entire application. They have to, and not only that, once they change that information, everything in the application online, they have to even do the testing on that. I don't think practically it's possible for them to implement right away unless they put all the systems in place and everything. And we are hoping that it won't be implemented for this year cap, basically because of these reasons. Because it happened in the past also. In 2000, actually the lottery system registration regulations have been passed in 2019, but it was not implemented in 2019 because of the practicality issue, because they have to develop an application, and that application has to go through several testing processes and everything. And then they have to formulate the rules and regulations on how registration can be done. And all those things basically took time for them. That's why they did not implement in 2019. They implemented it in 2020. I think we are expecting the same thing to happen this year also, because last year they implemented the registration on March 1, 2020. So we are hoping that this year also they will implement on March 1, 2021. But we haven't got any notification from the USA as yet. But that is our normal understanding, because that's what they usually do, basically, you know. And strong issues is a practicality. It's difficult for them to integrate and implement it and do it properly, because they have to collect a lot of information right now, right? They have to collect what the position is all about, what is the salary they're arguing about, what is the location, and all those things. Basically, it's a huge application which they have to develop for this. Of course, they may be able to integrate that from LCA, but still they have to pull that. They have to develop that a separate application over here. And I'm not a technical guy. I think software engineers will be able to talk about that more than I.
Yes, Bhanu, yes, I think hope for the best. And thank you so much for joining us. Me valuable time is spent chesi maaku chaala information తెలియజేశారు. Thank you so much once again.
No, it's my pleasure, Andy. It's my pleasure, and thank you very much for having me. And I'm really thank you very much for making me part of Sakshi family. You know, and always welcoming me to the Sakshi, and really appreciate that. You know, and happy to be part of the show anytime. And you know, thank you.
Glad to have you, sir. Thank you so much once again.
Yeah, same here. Thank you. Bye.
చూసారు కదా, ఇది వాళ్ళ స్పెషల్ ఇమిగ్రేషన్ టాక్ షో. చూస్తూనే ఉండండి సాక్షి, తెలుగు ప్రజల మనస్సాక్షి. నమస్తే.